You know what? Julep hasn't paid rent for me this month, and it's usually 2 meows a day, and so she's kind of overdue. So she can just do the intro today, y'all. Miss Julep. Hey, girl. Hello, my beautiful Virgo. How are you doing? My name is SimplyVelca, and I'm going to be doing your general weekly reading. Now, I also do your weekly love reading between you and your soulmate or twin flame, whatever you want to believe in and subscribe to. I'll put a link to it over here if you want to check it out. But when it comes to any of my readings, I always ask for you, Virgo, to rely on your intuition, because put it in perspective, I'm just a man reading some tarot cards to you. You know your situation better than I ever possibly could, so take the cards that resonate and leave what doesn't, because I'm not going to be offended by it. I promise you. Now, if you find some cards that do resonate with you, Virgo, I would love to hear about it in the comments below, because I enjoy hearing y'all's aha moments of what you feel like was a card pulled meant specifically for you, right? That's how I keep up with y'all. So, also, if you do find this reading does give you a sense of direction, Virgo, I would love for you to give me a like and subscribe, because it does help out my channel a lot, and I always am super appreciative when you guys take the time to do that for me. But let's just jump into your reading now, Virgo. We're going to be just diving into the overall energies of this week, what we can expect perhaps, what we should be working on for you this week, and just overall advice from Spirit. On the top left-hand side, we have the Justice card coming in. So, decisions being made, Virgo. That's finally, like, I just feel like you're committing to something. That's what I hear, is like committing to something to bring something into balance. And on the other side of this puzzle is the Emperor card. So you're coming into power. And the overall energy in this reading is the Courage card, coming in as number 6. Reach out, lean toward each other. So this is more so like a card, like I feel like you're pulling in some inner courage this week, Virgo, to kind of be a boss in some type of way, kind of lay down the hammer and show some a little bit of tough love, I'm gonna say, in this reading, right? This would be like an example of the type of energy of someone having to fire somebody, or someone having to give that confrontation, as I like to say, that confrontation. So, but you want to do this though, because things are out of balance currently, and you're trying to bring things into balance with you coming into this Emperor energy. But it's interesting because on the bottom left-hand side, we have the Knight of Coins, signifying you're going into uncharted new territory, into manifesting something new. So it's showing to me, like, it's almost like, again, and I'm not saying you're giving an ultimatum, Virgo, but it's almost like you're being like, you know what? Every other time I always said that I'm going to leave you, but every single time you never did. And now you're finally making the decision of closing the door, not looking behind you, and leaving this person, this job, or what have you. You finally said enough. You've had enough. Enough's enough. You have the last straw. Tower card coming in bottom right hand side of your puzzle. Already a heavy, I don't want to say heavy, it's heavy in the sense of a lot of energy to carry, right? But really like a straightforward storyline already before clarifiers. Like, I feel like in some ways I could just wrap up this reading and be like, yeah, you can go on your way now. Virgo, 6 of Swords coming in. I just felt drawn to pull a random card before we get into clarifiers, and this card was in the reverse for you. So you don't want to be, like, again, I always say this card is just like, oh, you could come back at some point again. This is kind of that card where it's just like you're looking back as like the train takes you away from the person you said goodbye to, or something of that nature, right? But the 6 of Swords says you don't want to be looking back. Inverted says you don't want to be looking back on this person anymore. You're done. You're completely done. All right, let's get into some finally some clarifiers. If this reading already wasn't impactful enough, Virgo, let's break down the Justice card on the top left side of your puzzle. We have the 9 of Swords. So again, maybe this is why you're being called to have courage, because this deck, by the way, is from another tarot reader on YouTube called Regretless Life Tarot. This is one of her oracle decks, and she takes the pictures, does all the art and everything. It's lovely. That was just a quick tangent. But 9 of Swords. This is why you're being called to have courage, and it's just like you're going to have to build that courage. Making a decision that you know is right, but it's going to upset others, or like bring forward a tower moment where it's like more so signifying just like this is just a big decision and you are understanding the magnitude of it, because you can't go back, right? The Six of Swords in the reverse is saying you can't come back to the situation. Once something is done, you can't go back. King of Cups. So again, there's like with this energy of where it's like, yeah, you have to be at peace with the decision for yourself, right? You can't be thinking for other people anymore. You kind of have to get rid of this codependent energy if you want to, I mean, just naturally go further in life, Virgo, right? There is a level where you can't just always put everyone ahead of yourself, because your life isn't going to progress that way, right? It's important to be, like I always say, Virgo, when anyone always struggles with like being selfish, I always say it's like you shouldn't feel bad about being selfish if you know your intentions are good, right? Good people do good when, right? Good people always do good, right? Or they always try to do good. And so when good people are doing really good in their lives, that means they can help more good people. So it's like if you fill up your cup first and focus on your own happiness and fulfillment, then you can do more for other people, be of service to other people at a greater magnitude. So see it that way. Final card, Knight of Swords, no, King of Swords coming in. So yeah, this is definitely a firm, you're drawing a line in the sand in some type of way. A lot of like, and obviously gender doesn't matter, but like a lot of like alpha masculine energy. It's just, again, more so just like you're wearing like your suit and tuck, or your tux and work boots, and just like laying down the law. Let's get some clarifiers on this Emperor card. On your top right hand side, we have the Page of Cups coming in here. Now this is in the reverse, so I do feel like, again, you're walking away from something. It's through this line of sand, you're cutting off some type of, I can't help but feel like opportunity or person. And I say opportunity just like you're closing a door on something. Be like, I don't want this option actually. Someone being like, oh, do you want to open door number 1, or do you want to like wait it out and like see what's behind door number 2? That's what it is for you. Or you're just like, actually, I think I'll take door number 2. Or you're just like, oh, I think I'll wait it out, right? You don't want to cash out quite yet. Temperance card, you're having more patience at this time, right? It feels like you're just connected. You're in the flow of things, Virgo. Yeah, Ace of Pentacles, you kind of are, you know you're in control of this situation. You are in your element. This, for some of you Virgos, I feel like you've already planned this out for quite some time. So this is not really coming as a surprise to you. You've been kind of preparing for this moment, right? You know, the athlete isn't intimidated when they go to the Olympics. Well, I guess I can't really speak in that sense, right? But it's just like, you know, if you know you're prepared for a situation, or you prepared for a test, right, even, you just naturally go in there more confidently, right, Virgo? Let's get into some clarifiers on the bottom part of your puzzle. Knight of Coins on the left-hand side. So you're going into some, as I said before, uncharted territories. After you put a line in the sand, you turn around and you go off, right? You're going into somewhere new. Six of Pentacles, somewhere where it just feels more of like a better investment, where it just feels like a better investment of your coins, right? It's more pentacle energy. So you just are looking to do smarter investments in your life, whether those investments are actual financial things, or whether those investments are just like your energy, your emotions, what have you. The Tower card coming in again for you. This is really emphasizing, it's like this Tower moment is happening in terms like you, some type of foundational, like you really are being torn apart in terms of your comfort zone. Like you really are leaving your comfort zone by adopting this Knight of Coins energy, but it's for the absolute best, I feel. Final clarifier. I love how this works out. Come on now, Virgo, the wheel. I feel like, yeah, this is like you're just taking, I love how this wheel card always comes up with the Six of Swords, because I always like to use the reference when it's there. It's like you're finally, because the wheel, I like to see it as you're grabbing the wheel of your own car or your chariot and finally directing it. I like to see this as like you're putting the wheel to your boat and finally steering it in the direction that you want to see for your life, right? I love it. So it's like, even though it's uncomfortable, even though you know it's like You might fall flat on your face. You're just you're pulling some courage in you to do with what just makes sense for you. The Tower card, Clarifiers. We have the Ten of Cups coming in. Again, it's more so just really emphasizing how big of a decision this is and how magnifying how much your life would be shifted with this decision. Like, it's really more so I just understand, like, you see the magnitude of this. Page of Swords, Seven of Swords. Maybe some of you guys are going to be seen as like the bad person. Obviously, completely random message, but some people might end up projecting onto you during this week, Virgo, and trying to like gaslight you in a sense of being like trying to be like, oh, you're a bad person because of X, Y, and Z, like da 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 da, right? They're trying to like make you. It's like that where, you know, when you set like a boundary out of love, right? You're just being like, hey, put it in perspective, right? I love boundaries, and the moment someone tries to make me feel bad about a boundary, I know that's a red flag for me to just like cut them out, because it's like, put it in perspective, Virgo. If you're just simply putting a boundary, being like, hey, this makes me uncomfortable, right? If let's say you and I are friends and I was just reading your tarot cards and not telling you until after and being like, oh, I saw this for you this week, girl, right? And that made you uncomfortable. Then you try to set a boundary, be like, hey, Velka, I actually don't like you reading my cards without telling me. And then, yeah, whoop de whoop de whoop. And then two different ways. If I respect you and I care about your feelings, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry, like I won't do that again. Like, please know that that wasn't my intention. Or if I'm self-involved and I don't care about your emotions and I value my own feelings over you, then I would be taking it personally and I'd be like, oh, you know, and then like try to guilt you about it and be like, well, I do this for a living, you know, why do you have to make it weird? I do the Zodiac readings, so why can't I do your readings? I do this for all my friends that I care about, right? It's that language. So keep that in mind. Don't allow yourself to be steered off, right? You know what it is you're trying to accomplish. Own your Emperor energy and bring justice, whatever it is that you need to bring justice to. Tear down and blow up what it is that you need to blow up so you can go on to your new journey. That's the reading that I have for you, Virgo. Thank you so much for listening to me. I really enjoyed doing this reading, even though it was intense. Hopefully it brought you a sense of direction. And if it did, be sure to give me a like and subscribe. But I love you so much. Bye.